Now, friends, we are looking now at the fourth beast that Daniel saw in his dream. Here is the second vision that he had, and it's a vision of a nondescript beast with 10 horns. And now this represents the Roman Empire, just as the legs of iron had in the image. But now let me read verse 7. After this, that is, after he'd had the vision of the other three beasts, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. It was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Now, I'm going to wait till we get to the interpretation to go into all of the detail. The explanation, we'll get to this, is in verse 19. And we're going to find out that more attention is given to the fourth beast than to all the other three put together. And the interpretation is important. Now, it's important for us because this particular section now relates to where we are today. We are living in the time of the fourth beast. And apparently, we're living in the time when the toes and the horns are beginning to manifest themselves. And we are going to look at that in detail, but we want to get the explanation that the Spirit of God is given to us, and that'll deliver us from speculation. But now let's look at this nondescript beast. Now, the fourth beast is altogether different from the others, and he's kept separate from the others, because all the other beasts have counterparts in the jungle and in zoos today. I'm sure all of us have seen a lion. All of us have seen a bear. All of us have seen a leopard or a panther, but you never saw this beast on land or sea or in the air. This beast here is really an unusual beast. And after you've had a night of dreaming about beasts like all of these, and especially this one, I don't think an aspirin tablet or any of these other sleeping pills would do you a bit of good. I think you're going to be awake the rest of the night. Now, will you notice what it says about it? It says a fourth beast, it was dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. Now, this beast, which represents the Roman Empire, is characterized by strength, and it incited dread and terror. It bore no resemblance to any beast that preceded it. Now, it had iron teeth, and that immediately, I think, identifies it with the legs of iron, which we've already seen was the Roman Empire. Now, the iron heel of Rome was on the neck of this world for 1 millennium. And a great deal has been said about the Roman Empire. Even to this day, it amazes historians. And it was Gibbon that made this statement. And you must understand, Gibbon was not a Christian as we understand it. I'm reading or quoting Gibbon now. The empire of the Romans filled the world. And when the empire fell into the hands of a single person, the world became a safe and dreary prison for his enemies. To resist was fatal, and it was impossible to fly. Now, another writer, Dr. Robert Culver, who has a very fine book on Daniel, he has made this statement, and I'm quoting him now. 2 millennia ago, Rome gave the world the ecumenical unity which the League of Nations and the United Nations organizations have sought to give in our time. The modern attempts are not original at all, as many of our contemporaries suppose, but are revivals of the ancient Roman ideal which never since the time of Augustus Caesar has been wholly lost. You see, the Roman Empire just simply fell apart, and it is that way today. Rome lives on. It lives in France, in Italy, in Germany, in Spain, in Austria. It lives on those nations that border the Mediterranean, in North Africa. You see, all of those were part of the Roman Empire, and no one overcame the Roman Empire. It just fell apart into these different nations. Now, I want you to notice that this beast had 10 horns, and that made it unusual. Well, when was the last time you saw a beast that had 10 horns? Now, obviously, those 10 horns correspond to the feet of the image with the 10 toes. And the emphasis is not upon the origin of this empire, but rather upon the end time, the period of the 10 horns. And there'll be more attention. It will be directed by the Spirit of God in giving us the interpretation than all the rest put together. And it's made further important to us because it's yet unfulfilled. Apparently, we're living in some period toward the end time. And the visions of the 4 beasts have been fulfilled. That is, already 3/4 of this prophecy has been literally fulfilled. And there remains for the future just the time of the 10 horns, because even Rome has appeared and fell apart and will come back together in 10 kingdoms and be put together by the one we've labeled the Antichrist. We didn't label it. The Word of God